Good morning. What is going on, you beautiful people? It is 3:07 a.m. I am on my way to the gym right now. And yesterday I had a conversation with Malachi. And the conversation kind of started off with, what do you want out of life? Like, what do you want? Can you identify the top 10 things that you want? And I know that was a difficult question, because you can ask somebody who's fully mature, been around, has some type of experience of life, and they couldn't do it either. But I asked him, and he gave me his response, and he didn't have 10, but he had a couple. And the reason why I asked him is because I was trying to get to the core of, do you understand your purpose? Now, part of that conversation was 50-50 split. One part was for me to get him to identify with who he was. The other part was for him to identify with what I needed of him from a perspective of business, because we work together, and also from a perspective of wanting the best for him. But I wanted to draw out the conversation that may have jumped him years ahead. And I know it's possible because I know my mentor. He still sends me stuff from the Mayo Clinic, and he sends me things about prostate cancer, and he sends me things about men's yearly checkups and things that you're supposed to do. And he says, I wish somebody had told me this early enough so that I could have been preventative. He says, the things that I'm sending you are going to put you 10, 15, 20 years ahead of where you are, because you'll have more knowledge. So the conversation kind of was steering in a direction of me possibly trying to direct his life. And you want to be careful with that. And the reason why I say you want to be careful is because, one is, people will grow to resent you if you try to tell them what they should do. And one thing I'm always reminded of is, if you had went back through my life and you had looked at where I started at, there's nothing in my past that would have prepared you for what's going on now and in my future, because my past was simply a proving ground. It was simply a place I was at in order to get me to the place that I was going. That was it. And as much as I wanted to tell him, I just decided to have this conversation and draw to the surface things. See, when I prayed this morning, I said, instead of me trying to worry about guiding or dictating his moves, why not just let God handle that? Why not just let God resolve that and work it out the way he worked it out in me, and still is working things in me? Because the last thing I want to do is push somebody I love away. And you have to be respectful of their space. You got to be respectful of their right to grow, even if they make mistakes. Because there's no such thing as a mistake that doesn't give you more knowledge. more wisdom, more understanding. Matter of fact, mistakes are the seeds that success is sprouted from. I don't think anybody ever took the time out or was conscious about the direction I was going in as much as I am conscious about my family's direction, as much as I say that I know that where you're at today doesn't necessarily mean that's where you'll be at forever. It's the mistakes that we make that allow us to start making the different decisions. If we never made a mistake, how could we grow? I also come from a standpoint of somebody who's been through a lot. We have a friend that has a felony, and this felony, it seems to stop them at every single turn. And not because somebody has said, no, you have a felony, you cannot do this, but because in their mind they say this felony will probably come up. I recently applied for life insurance. I applied for whole life insurance with a payback, and then I applied for term. They denied me for the whole life insurance. I'm not quite sure why. They just said past felony conviction. Felony have to do with life insurance. But I kept going. They gave me even bigger term policy for 30 years. Right? And then I was going after my real estate license. I had to fight for that. They told me no. Felony conviction. I fought, I appealed. Now I'm top producing in real estate sales. They denied me for a fingerprint card to go into the Maricopa County Sheriff's Jail to talk to the inmates about God. I appealed. Now I go in there every other Friday. Same place I was incarcerated at. I go back in there and I talk to them about God. I done been through some things, so I can tell you some things. But the one thing that my life experience has taught me above and beyond anything else is simply this. Everyone is entitled to make their mistakes. Doesn't mean that I'm going to let you come in my presence and give me your excuses. Because if I did that, what kind of friend would I be? There's a part in the Bible where it says, have I become your enemy because I tell you the truth? I could tell you about some things. For my young 40 years on this planet, I could tell you some things. But the one thing that keeps me grounded above and beyond anything else is, yes, in my presence, I won't tolerate excuses. You can do it. However, in your own life, I respect the fact that everybody is entitled to make their decisions and to make mistakes. Because it was those decisions and it was those mistakes that made me the man that I am now.